everybody, my name is Sherry. Welcome to my stamp studio. I have the cutest card for you today. So I'm going to show you a couple of different things. It won't take long because it's a kit card, and I love our kits, but I don't often make videos with them because they're so self-explanatory that you don't really need me to show you how to make them. And for the ones that need a little bit of help, Stampin' Up! We'll often have a video. We do use them, I don't know, the last couple of years at my in-person camps. Every month, one of our projects is a kit. And even then, I can't get through them because Stampin' Up! Has started releasing 2 or 3 new ones each month. So I'm going to show you today's kit as is, and then I'm going to make it into the sweetest card. And I think of our kits kind of like a gateway. So especially if you have somebody that you would like to stamp with that thinks they can't stamp, whether or not it's in their head or whether or not it's because they're young or whether or not they've just never tried it before, today's kit, especially with the holidays coming up, is perfect because you can do it as is, and there's enough that you can still not upsize, but add on a little bit more and have an alternative to turn it into cards. And it will work with so much stuff that you already have, if you have stuff, that it won't take any brain power. And they will, whoever you stamp with, whether they're young or older, because this is a perfect kit for kids to stamp with you too. They'll feel successful and they'll like it. So before we do that, there's a couple things I want to show you. These are a couple of my newest tutorials in case you missed them. This is a Happy New Year card made with the Christmas suite. And I love the way that the gold foil is on this. And I wanted to show you that because I am using the gold foil today as well. And we'll give you another idea on how to use it. And then this is just a fun, I love crumb cake. It's one of my favorite colors. And then you add it with the white and it really pops. Then I don't know if you all know that Stampin' Up! Has an online class. I don't know if it's happened yet with Traditions of Christmas. So you can just sign up and take their class. If you missed the live version, you can always go back and watch the replays. So it is, you just pay for the class and it's online, kind of like what I do, but Stampin' Up's doing one, and then you just use your own supplies. So I had a Traditions of Christmas class before I knew Stampin' Up! Was going to have a Traditions of Christmas class, and it was when the catalog first came out, and if you bought the suite, you got my class for free, so you got all this stuff. I mean, you had to use your suite stuff. And there's 5 projects. I'm not sure how many Stampin' Up's doing. The paper is currently unavailable. It will be back in stock in November, but it is currently not available. So I no longer have that offer. And then I did one where you could buy the materials, but I also no longer have that because I have cut the packets and they are often in the mail. But I do have, if you want to buy just my online stuff, if you did Stampin' Ups and you want to do it, I don't normally show cards from my classes. I'm going to quickly show you the 5 cards that we are making in my Traditions of Christmas class. And there's 5 videos, and then this is kind of a fun one that has a little bit of a 3D effect. So go to my website. You can see the information on my class page, or if you're on my email, I'm going to resend it. I also have a couple of maybe 3 try it packs left. I've got a couple still reserved. If you want that online class for free and you want a holiday try it class for free, then sign up for $35 and get $100 worth of stuff from Stampin' Up. Be part of my team, and then you get all my tutorials for free. So before I do the Nutcracker kit, I'm going to show you this one because it's fabulous. And if you follow me, you know I have a brand new grandson. So this is going to be, it's the Remembering Christmas kit. It's going to be a little scrapbook of his first Christmas. Because I don't really scrapbook because I don't have time. And you know, for a hot while I had an adult daughter, which you can do it. But this is kind of one of those books. Look at these pages. Well, and you will decorate the pages and then they will slide back in. So it is a fun interactive little book. So here's the pages, and then look at all these accents that you get to decorate them. And of course it tells you what to do. So I hope to, I think my daughter and my grandson, my son-in-law is going on a bachelor party. So I think they're going to be here for several days in a row coming up. We had him the other day. We watched football and she came upstairs and stamped because, you know, he's 8 months old If you are a parent, you remember those days. And she just wanted to stamp unattended, and he watched football with us. But look how cute these are. So I think while she's here, I will try to get these together, because if you can get the bones of it together, look how sweet those are. Then I have a little photo printer, and as we go through December, I can just, these make little pockets for the pages here. So I will get it together. Look, so cute. And then sometimes if you do the book ahead of time, it's like, oh, well, we must do this. I mean, we always go to Christmas at the zoo, so we'll do that. But you can start planning events around the pictures you want to take, right? Okay. Another reason I didn't use the scrapbook. And so here is the Nutcracker kit. I am going to show you the pieces. So it makes 12. And you can see each Nutcracker has a tag, and then it has some pieces that you can 3D. So here's the tags. Here is, I did do one. I moved everything over here too. I don't know if my finished one's in here or not. Here are the, so there's 4 designs, 3 of each. I love that there's a little girl Nutcracker. My daughter loved the Nutcracker. She danced when she was younger. She tried out a couple of times. That the year that we thought for sure she would get in, they opted that year to have no children. And then that kind of put her off about, like, she was so annoyed. But she would have been so happy to have a girl Nutcracker. So it has some twine. It has some adhesive. I guess my thing's over here. Yes, here it is. So here's finished as is. Whoops. Trying to use both my hands to do something at the same time. So you see, they just all have little, super easy. Now, how quick and easy would that be to make with a friend? So if you don't want to do the stamping and the embossing that I'm going to do today, you could just mount these on a card and kind of use this for a background and kind of play with it a little bit and just get those on a card. I haven't done much stamping today, but I just saw my hands are already dirty. I don't understand. So I just went with Poppy because that is a color in all of the tags. So I have a Poppy background. I have some gold foil, and then I have some white. And then here's the little girl Nutcracker. I still need to punch out her pieces. I didn't want to lose them. So let's do our die cutting first. So I'm going to use the arch dies because they're fabulous. I could, right now, arches are in. I could put arches on every card. I'm going to show you because I know there's a chance that some of you watching this perhaps don't die cut very often if you're a kit person. So I'm just going to line this up on here. I have a couple of tips. You don't want to go through your embossing folder. I mean, your cut and emboss, what we call speed bump. I'm sitting down and not standing up. Because if you do and you hear a giant kerplunk, that's because it went through speed bump. Think about going over a speed bump when you drive. You always want to send it through at an angle. This one, because it's rounded, it probably wouldn't have kerplunked. I could do it the other way, and it definitely would if you send it through that way. So here is my gold foil. And you could just leave it like that, but why when we have stuff, right? So I'm going to take, this is called Christmas words, and it's lots of Christmas words. So there's 2 ways you can use it, and I'll show you the way I'm going to use it. It's got all these Christmas words. So we have merry and bright, we have cheer, happy Christmas, Noel, Merry Christmas, glad tidings to you. And here, I'm just going to stick this in here. I'm going to do it a different direction than I did on my other one. Let's go this way. So I get some different words. And I want to make sure that I'm going to have words all the way around. So I'm going to put it in here. When you use a folder, the word Stampin' Up is always right side up. How many of those are upside down? It's kind of like they're half and half, but I think this is good. Our Nutcracker ends up covering up a lot of it. So then you can see I took all of those other plates off. Just put this one on. Always go through with the crease of your folder going first through your machine. And so for this particular die, now I'm done because this is all I need. But if you just want all these words in gold foil, do a 6x6 piece and then run it through. They'll all look like this and all be fabulously beautiful. And then you're going to put it back through again with this. And you can see this line's right up on here. and it will cut all your words out for you. So then you'd have all those words, and you could also mount those on a card. So if you're having friends over to make cards, this is a great way to get a bunch of words in just a couple of times, and you could do it for them. Now I've got too much stuff to move that over. Flip that up. Okay, so we have this. Now I'm going to use Falling Snow, which was in last year's holiday catalog, but it's still around, so you can still get it. Not for much longer because it's cling, and all of our stamps are going to photopolymer. I'm going to use Poppy Parade. Oh, this is why I have red ink on my hand. I was like, well, how did I get red ink on my hand? But this would be it. I'm not going to mount it on a block because I just need a little bit. And I really just mostly need it around the edges because our gold thing in the middle is going to cover most of it up. So I'm just going to tap it on here. I don't even care if all of them get tapped, all of my little falling snows. And then we'll just lay this on top. You're going to be careful when you drop it that you don't move it. So just drop it. It doesn't have to be straight or anything. And then just lightly press it. And again, most of it's going to get covered up as long as my edges are done, and you don't want to move it. But there's two sides to every piece of paper, so if you move it, not the end of the world. So there we have some snow. And I want mine to be a little bit blizzardy and a little bit sparkly. So I'm going to take my shimmer solution. I have lots of videos on how to make this. It's glycerin and Wink of Stella. I put a whole Wink of Stella in my little tube. And then I just put it on a block. And again, I only need the edges. So see, when I rub it around, it is also going to not only make it look a little shiny, but also it kind of smears some of that poppy ink around, which I thought was fun. It kind of gives it, we still see the Nutcracker on occasion. When my daughter was little, we saw it every single year from the year she was probably 1. I can't imagine taking my grandson to the ballet, but my daughter loved going to the ballet. The first time we took her, she was a talker, and we had to explain you don't talk while you're at the ballet. But I think that's where I got the idea for the arches downtown, where we go see it. Sometimes there's lots of arches up in the way. So now we just have to stick all this together. Let's fold this in half. Again, this is Poppy. Well, I've got this here. Let's go ahead and do some of this on the edges. Just clean my brush off and also give it a little bit of sparkle because it makes our paper so pretty. See that sparkle? Now this is a little wet because the glycerin's wet. As it dries, it will, all that will be left is the sparkle. Put this in here. Now, if you've used the glycerin, it has to dry before you can stick adhesive on it. You could use glue. So that's why I'm just going right in the middle of that. And then let's put it in here. Not fun? Okay, now we have to assemble our little Nutcracker girl. So when you look at the instructions, it has, each of them have a tag and then 2 pieces that will pop up plus their saying. So she has her hat. Oh, the squirrel's out there barking at my cats. I can hear it. Oops. So I'm just going to put my thing on here before I stick that on. Because this isn't a tag, I'm just going to take my scissors and cut that off. I'll show you the tag again at the end after you've seen this. Get her boots. The pop-up pieces all have the gold accents. And then her sending joy. Now these I kind of messed with them because you want to put it where you're gonna, I don't want to lose her skirt. Let's see where they put it. Let's get my instructions back out. And the other one I didn't want, he had gold on his cuffs and I didn't want to lose that. So it's not like I'm going to read the instructions. I simply look at the picture. So they have it off to the side. see here. That way you can still see her skirt. Perfect. You're going to see a bit more words on her than you on my other one because she is tinier. She's a girl, right? Just stick her in her arch. And you could be done. I had all these ideas as I was making it about the ribbon I was wanting to use, but it doesn't really need ribbon. But it can always use embellishments, right? And we have so many embellishments. In fact, the ones from the Traditions of Christmas, they're red. So the green and the gold would work. Maybe I'll do that. On my other card, I've used this one. These are the Delightful Decorative Dots, and I only used the green. But let's try this. We'll just swap them up. So I don't want the red because it's red and not poppy. And sometimes when you put the two of them together, in fact, let me get a piece of red cardstock and I'll show you. I think some people think there's not a big difference. There's a huge difference between when you have the poppy next to the red, the poppy actually looks like it's orange, and it's not orange. So here is 5 embellishments this way. So here's this one. Now each card's going to look a tiny bit different because the Nutcrackers are different. He has a much bigger profile and his words are bigger, and you could always switch the words. And there's those other embellishments, and I just did 3 because they're bigger. And then here's the tag. And then let me show you real quick. This is Poppy. That's Cherry Cobbler. Getting my Traditions of Christmas class. And there's Real Red. So you can see how orange that looks. You don't think it's orange when you're working with it separate from the reds. But that is the difference between the Real Red and the Poppy. So I didn't want those red ones on there. I mean, if it's all you had, it would be fine. But when you got them all sitting right here, you can tell it is Christmas. Christmas season in the craft studio because my colors have changed. A couple weeks ago, it was all the browns and the oranges. And now we've moved on to Christmas colors. So if you have any questions about the kits, let me know. There was just recently a kit sale, so I haven't looked to see if any of them are sold out. When kits are unavailable, they're just unavailable on the website until they come back in. When they eventually go away, we know it. So I haven't heard that any were discontinued from the sale, but if you're looking for one and you can't find it, I'm happy to answer if you email. Have a great one. Bye.